Hello and welcome to Iona University News at 5. Today we've got a jam-packed schedule for you. Let's jump right in. The Iona women's basketball team faced off against the Stetson Hatters on Thursday. Our sports reporter William Quincy was on the scene talking to fans and getting their opinions on the season so far.
Thanks, Jack. I'm here where the Iona women's basketball team just took down Stetson for their second win of the season. This win is a huge bounce-back win after their struggle against UMBC in the Colgate Holiday Tournament. Although starting 1-6, the Gales were hungry, with this week's main theme being communication and chemistry. Following the 58-46 win, Matt, the practice squad member, shared his insights on the game.
I thought the game was great today. I thought the team had a lot more team chemistry today. I saw a lot of leadership out there, more communication. They are going to have to overcome a lot of obstacles. But other than that, I think they're going to improve over the year and hopefully get it together and start winning a lot more games.
The theme of communication continued throughout the night when I got the chance to speak to graduate Erin Leary on her standout performance and what led to the win.
I feel like the biggest thing was the defense. A lot of communication on the defensive end and all of us working together defensively helps us get the wins we need. This win feels really, really good. I think we needed it to boost morale and just know that all the pieces can come together and we can get the wins we want to get.
The emphasis on team chemistry ultimately led to the win for the Gales, leading to a 2-6 record. They'll take on the UMass Riverhawks on Tuesday, December 10th. Back to you, Jack.
Thank you, Quincy. The Iona Galegates are in season this time of year. Our entertainment reporter Jackson Burkhart was at the Galegate prior to the game against the Stetson Hatters to find the Iona spirit in full force.
Here at the Galegate before the Iona women's basketball team take on Stetson tonight. There's holiday cheer, food, games, decorations, and much more for people to enjoy and be involved in before the game takes place. Let's see what people thought.
Just like a tailgate, the Galegate brought students and faculty from all over campus into one place to celebrate the women's basketball team before they play Stetson. Held in the Hines Institute, tucked away in the cozy Burke Lounge, different clubs and organizations came together to present activities to boost morale and heighten spirits before the game. Complete with food and fun music, people were excited.
I'm with the Gaelic Society today. We're hosting, our table specifically is building gingerbread houses. The Galegate's pretty good. I mean, we got a lot of people, more than we expected. Everyone's happy. We got the Christmas music going. And all around, it's just a great time right before Christmas break. Nice little stress reliever before finals, so it's definitely a good time.
And for those attending the Galegate who were over the age of 21, there was a small bar-like table set up, complete with alcoholic beverages, to appeal to a wider age variety. However, this does not shy away from the fact that the food and the comforting setting makes for a great place for students to come down with their friends and enjoy themselves.
As a hall director, I'm here as like a supporter. However, RAs have programming requirements for each semester, so I always think a Galegate is the perfect opportunity for students to come out and RAs to bring them there for their requirements.
And that seemed to be the case, with a great turnout of students and faculty at the Galegate.
My favorite thing about the Galegates are the food. I feel like every time I go into the dining hall and I feel like they're missing something, it's at the next Galegate. So the food is definitely my favorite thing.
With the start of the game nearly approaching, spirits are high, as well as expectations from the students and faculty who will surely be at the game to cheer on the women's basketball team against Stetson. This is Jackson Burkhart signing off.
Thank you, Jackson. The ceremonial Christmas tree lighting took place prior to the men's basketball game against Cornell. Our news reporter Connor Capola went to see the Christmas spirit being embodied by the Iona students.
Here at the last Galegate before Thanksgiving break, before the Iona Gales take on Cornell, Iona students have gathered fighting the cold weather to enjoy some great food, good tunes, and company with people before the end of the school year.
Galegates before Iona University sporting events have been a long-standing tradition for years on campus. This one on November 25th added something extra to the festivities, the lighting of the Christmas tree on the Murphy Green. Students at Iona feel that these events are what makes Gale Nation such a close-knit community.
I'm a commuter, so it brings me back to campus because I'm kind of far away, so it's fun and it just brings everyone together.
I just personally like joining in the community, and I love the free food and the music, so that's always good.
The next Galegate will take place on December 5th in the Thomas Burke Lounge, which will feature the Slam Club hosting their annual Home for the Holidays event.
Thank you, Connor. That does it for our news portion of the show. Moving on to our special feature, my colleague Jackson Burkhart spoke with athleisure contributing member William Quincy regarding his future in sports media.
So my freshman year, I really wanted to get involved in media and somehow, just any way with sports. I was really interested in it, but I didn't really know what my path was going to be. And I saw that we had an opportunity of ESPN here on campus, so I was really interested in that. So I started talking to some people to figure out how to do that. And one of those people I ended up talking to was Ryan Murphy, who eventually convinced me that the ESPN was kind of more of a thing that once you get into it, you're kind of locked in and you don't have as much creative freedom. Where if I really wanted to do something with my time and be creative with it, I should join a company that he just started with his friend called Athleisure Productions, which I didn't even know how I was going to impact the company when I first joined, but just any opportunity, like I said, be in media with sports was what I wanted to do. So I saw it as a great gate to what I wanted to eventually, figure out what I wanted to do. With athleisure, because of all the work that I've done, I started as a photographer and kind of developed my skills from there, learned new things like videography, and learned how to do other stuff. And all those skills eventually led me to the opportunity to work for athletics. So my job for athleisure and athletics is a combination of content creation, photography, videography, and kind of, like I said, all things that add to media around sports and around the teams to kind of add more of a story and show an emotional side to these teams that people might not see. Yeah, like I said, it's all the opportunities that's led me to. I've gotten numerous amounts of internships just because I said I've started a media company with my friends. Like I said, I work almost full-time now for athletics, and it's led to great other opportunities. One of the internships I just did this summer was with a minor league baseball team called the NY Boulders, where I was a full-time photographer for them at all their home games and worked on the other on the side with other social media content creation ideas. So really, without athleisure and having something to put on my resume that, not that it's just a resume stuffer, but saying that I've been able to have this experience that most people go throughout college with never having that sort of experience that I did. It definitely gave me a step ahead of other people. Yeah, I travel with all the teams basically whenever I can if it works with my class schedule, and sometimes I'll even miss class to go with some teams. Some trips that I've gone on this year is West Virginia with the men's basketball, Princeton with the men's basketball. Recently I just came back from Colgate over Thanksgiving with the women's team. And those are all opportunities that I get to capture the team's emotion and show what they're doing on the road and keep the fan base intact where, maybe we don't have as many road fans going all the way to West Virginia or going all the way to Princeton, but people can still keep up with what's happening with the team. I have a lot on my plate all the time. I'm always expected to have stuff done on deadlines. One thing about media is that everything needs to be very timely. If we win on Friday night, no one's going to care about it on Tuesday. So we definitely need to get stuff done on time, organized, and all that takes time to organize it. And then balancing all of that with being a full-time student, it could be a lot, but having to work it all out, and that's just part of the job. Definitely ask questions. Sometimes you might feel stupid being like, oh, this is such a basic thing, like, well, everyone should know this. I can't ask that question, my boss, but asking questions is how we learn. It's how we get better. It's how we develop new skills. So if I didn't ask questions, I wouldn't be where I am. I think majority of the people who are in leadership positions, they're in leadership positions because they weren't afraid to ask questions and they learned from their former leaders how to get into that position. And a lot of people are interested in photography but don't really know where to start. And recently, with a couple people, I've actually found more of like a teaching role where I'm teaching them about photography. I'm teaching them how to use a camera with my other camera and kind of guiding them in that process. And of course, they're asking questions along the way. And I love that aspect, and it's definitely something I could see doing in the future with my career. Yeah, the dream job honestly would be to work, like I said, anywhere in the media field around sports, but ideally I would love to be kind of like a personal media for one specific player in a major league sport. Ideally, it would be basketball for me. That definitely is my favorite sport and what I'd like to stick around for the rest of my career. But I mean, as I found out from past jobs, you just got to say yes sometimes and see if it's something for you. So really, who knows where I could end up. I've had lots of classes this year where we've had speakers talk about different aspects of the sports field, and it's really opened up my eyes about how broad the actual field is and how many positions there are. But ideally, I'd love to be with a specific athlete. Follow my Instagram, Quincy_media, athleisure_productions. But a piece of advice for everyone, I'd definitely say, take risks. Like I said, try everything. You never know if it's something you're gonna like. If it's something you don't like, then you don't want to do that again. But definitely just say yes and ask questions, be willing to learn, and it will lead to great opportunities.
Thanks, Jackson. For our next segment, I have the privilege of speaking with Ionian Editor-in-Chief Connor Coppola. Connor, thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Jack.
So tell me a little bit about your position in the Ionian.
So a buddy of mine, Robert, and I, we were named editor-in-chief, co-editors-in-chief this semester, first time they've ever done that. So we are now in charge of basically the whole thing. We oversee a group of 6 e-board members, each with their own tasks. So we have a news division, arts and entertainment, sports, opinions, and features and lifestyles. So there's 6 separate people that do all that. They submit their articles to us for as many Iona students as they get to do their articles. We review them, we edit them, we make a little changes as necessary, and then we send it into Canva, which gets sent into another printing lady, and then within 48 hours, they come delivered to Iona in person.
Wow. So how is the article retention? How is getting those articles been?
Yeah, so that's probably been the biggest challenge since I've been with the Ionian, is definitely newspapers are, no lie, out of style.
Yep.
So I think just finding new incentives for students, whether actually we were able to speak with this professor named Professor D.L. Luizio. We were able to speak with his freshman class to try to gain engagement.
Yep.
So that actually worked out well. We found a couple students there who enjoyed writing and everything. So, but definitely that's been the hardest part, is trying to get more engagement, trying to get people to write for fun, which, trust me, I know, is not easy.
Yeah.
But understanding that the reward of even if it's a little thing, seeing your name in a hard copy paper is still a cool feeling.
Oh, yeah.
Especially as a college student. So that's definitely been the biggest challenge, but we feel like we're making some progress, but definitely there's still a lot of work to be done.
As you're representing the people, are there any issues you run into where you kind of have to be like, all right, maybe we can't run this?
Yeah, fun. It's a good question. There was something that happened a couple weeks ago where a lady died on university-owned housing.
I think I heard about that.
And we received information, and it was a very sticky situation. And we, Robert and I, the other co-editor-in-chief, we had to speak with the dean of students. We were jumping through all these hoops and hurdles. And this was all private at the time, but then News 12, it's a news company based in Westchester. They've run multiple stories on it, and as a viewer of that, it seems to be getting crazier and crazier each story that comes out.
Wow.
So yeah, that was my first big news tip where it involved a suspicious death of a woman.
So you guys got the tip at or around the same time as News 12?
I'm pretty sure it was before.
Wow.
I got this email before.
That's huge.
And then kind of where we stand as a university paper, essentially Iona pays for the paper.
Yeah.
So considering that this story has not been the greatest look for the university.
Not quite.
They probably don't want somebody who they're paying for their paper to run this story, which is understandable.
Yeah.
So I would say that was probably our biggest challenge.
You bring up a good point there. How do you balance the image of the school with possibly an article that would, not be so positive? The food's not so great, or this professor is, not like this professor's bad, but maybe something comes up about a professor, or, because how do you balance the news aspect of it and the fact that ideally you're owned by the university? How do you balance those two?
Yeah, I wish I had a better answer for you other than we're handcuffed. It sucks. Because, yeah, unfortunately there are, like, no matter where you go, you know, people aren't stupid. Obviously, the school's not perfect, the student body's not perfect, the professors aren't perfect. So things are going to happen, and I think just being open and honest with the student body, like you said, like, you might find hair in your mac and cheese one day. Or there might be a woman who died suspiciously on your walk to school. Like, unfortunately, those events can happen. And our job is to let the student body know. Like, we gave this example of if a woman got stabbed at Dunkin' Donuts, even though it's not Iona property, the Iona students will want to know because they go to Dunkin' Donuts all the time. So we felt the same way about that. So yeah, the balance is not really there because as much as I want to share and give people the information that I think they need, you know, the powers above, whoever they might be.
What year are you?
I'm a senior.
All right, so freshman to senior year, talk about your journey with the Ionian.
Yeah, I didn't even like want to do anything with it until like 2 years ago. And then honestly, like I realized that my resume had nothing. Like I was just going to be a communication student, and like in this industry, it's not really.
You gotta get involved.
You gotta get involved outside of the classroom, and I really was like, okay, let's look at these options. Okay, paper doesn't sound that interesting, but I'll give it a shot. And I ended up just liking it, liking the people that were involved in it. That's the most important thing when you're in any type of club. If you like the people you work with, then it's going to end up being a really fun experience. So honestly, like it went by so fast, and that it just happened that me and my friend were both seniors and we kind of just fit the role. And we were nervous about going into editor-in-chief. It's a lot of responsibility. Personally, like more responsibility doesn't sound that fun at this age, but you know, 1 semester in, we have 1 semester left as editors-in-chief. So far, so good, and I'm excited for the future.
Awesome. Well, you know, Connor, thank you for joining me, and with Iona 5 o'clock news, I'm Jack Kennedy.